And we're back.
Cool.
So yeah, in the break, I looked into the scribing spell scrolls. I disagree with Xanathar's, but even though I disagree with Xanathar's, I do agree with the idea that it is kind of out of your time and price range. Well, you could afford it, but it would be very expensive. The time limitation is your problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I also realized there's one aspect that we haven't really addressed yet. It's in the Shadowfell.
Yeah, and we don't have a fork attuned to it, so we have to get to the Shadowfell
No,
to attune the fork.
no,
before
I
we
was-
teleport to the circle.
Like I wrote, like last time you were in the Shadowfell, there was a lot of mind fuckery
Oh yeah, that too.
True.
from the plane itself.
That too.
I don't know if there's anything you want to prepare or if people want to prepare for that, but like some kind of
Could we even? Like, is there even anything we could do to minimize
have
that?
interpreted from your stories. Something that like grounds you back in like something that's important to you, like to hold on to. Something to ground you again to some degree.
You gotta have something worth coming home to.
Yeah, something to remind you as to why you're there, why you're doing things.
Well,
the more you can physically use or interact with it, the better, I guess. Although, don't bring Fasira. That's a horrible idea.
What? No, why would I bring her to the Shadowfell? That's...
Well, she's a reminder that the world's worth fighting for.
I don't think we need to bring her into danger to remind
No.
ourselves.
No.
Also, by that logic, you can just bring something that reminds you of Thasira. You don't have to bring Thasira.
It was also not meant as a serious suggestion.
Yeah. Whilst bringing something that reminds you of home is a good idea, I will also remind everyone that it was prolonged exposure to the atmosphere that caused issues. So, if you can avoid staying there for a long period of time, it'll be easier to resist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but assumptions.
Better safe than sorry.
Like we know we're gonna have to be there for at least a day already.
Yeah, I'm covered on that front.
So yeah, but those are actually there are only 3 really big important things I can think of. Save our own mental health from the Shadowfell, stakes, and protect our minds from the Cabal.
God, so we would...
Oh, vampires don't like fire, right?
They also don't like daylight, which I can cover for us.
Oh, good.
They're also undead.
So, the fire thing is just a wild guess, but
I don't
the other
actually
thing,
know.
I mean,
the other things are
I can
definitely
pretty
good.
easily find out if they don't like fire. I've got a lot of fire.
Well, it's more if it's. Well, actually, I've got a flaming sword as well.
That too.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's not gonna hurt, I don't think.
No.
Well, it is gonna hurt.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Well,
Yeah.
it's not gonna hurt us.
As far as you know, vampires are adverse to fire in the same way that regular people are adverse to fire, as in they don't like being on it.
Which is,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
rough.
Pretty good
yeah,
guess.
checks out.
That's rough,
But
but
yeah, God. Are we really
Wow.
doing this?
by the sounds of it, we actually have basically nothing to prepare besides the stakes, or at least nothing that we can prepare besides the stakes. And a little memento.
God, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I mean, do you have a better plan?
Well, no, of course not.
Well, it's this or we sit around doing pretty much nothing.
Yeah. Man, I was thinking about it, but for a second I was like, if we just leave them alone, they might just they might all just get murdered. However, they might also get access to all the good stuff.
The good
At least-
stuff?
Well, the like shards.
Hmm.
Good stuff for them, not so much for us. Also, I think we're gonna have. I really don't want to, but I think we're gonna have to bring the artifact. I just don't trust leaving it behind.
Hmm.
Well, no, because if we leave it behind, one of them will. But then again, will one of them come searching for it even if we take it with us?
At this point, Vondor sort of chimes in and sort of says, "Wasn't there some plan to secret it away somewhere? Didn't you buy a
Pocket
safe for this
dimension.
reason?"
Yeah, we did.
So, is there a reason we're not using that?
I guess just paranoia. Well, no, we should probably. We should use the safe.
Well, we'd need to dip into our fundings because I don't think we bought a.
What?
Actually, now I think about it,
Bought a safe.
no, as in like I mean the material components for the spell we were going to use.
What were the material components?
A powder composed of diamond, emerald, ruby, and sapphire dust worth at least 5,000 gold.
Wow. Wait, what spell were we going to use? My God.
Sequester.
Oh, okay.
By means of this spell, a willing creature or object can be hidden away safe from detection for the duration until dispelled.
Oh, yeah, it's because it's the permanent version.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, literally if I cast it on the safe, it will become invisible, can't be targeted by divination spells, or perceived through scrying senses created by divination spells.
Well, that's
And either it doesn't end until I dispel it, or until I name some sort of condition.
Well, I suppose then the preparation we need to make is deciding on what condition we want it to come back, if there is one.
Well, yeah, like I said, we don't have to set a condition at all. It can just be
Well-
whenever I dispel it.
well. Like, see, the problem is, like, even though adding more conditions is a vulnerability, I
Also, the
don't.
condition has to take place near the thing.
Yeah, yes, but like, the main thing that worries me is if for some reason they get to you, then like you would be you'd be able to get to the artifact, and we wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Potentially.
See, we did have a plan for this.
Yeah.
And we've promptly forgotten it.
Well. Oh wait, wasn't it something along the lines that we all needed to be there or something? Weren't we gonna like have like several like a key each, and then so that and then we needed all keys to
Yeah,
unlock.
because I
We're-
can reveal the safe, but that doesn't mean I can necessarily open it. If the
Right,
safe
but-
was only opened in a specific way that you guys had access to and I did not, then I couldn't open it without you guys. Or one of us couldn't open it without the others.
Well, the safe has a combination.
Okay, so we put it in the safe. We hide the safe with the item, and then as a condition, because I feel like even though I kind of want the artifact to go away forever, like I feel like we need an option in order if it like ever is necessary to make a comeback.
Well, if that's the case, I dispel it.
No, but it's the consideration of like, what if for some reason you can't dispel it? We need to have another way to be able to get to it.
See, we're gonna have to create our own legendary quest. We have four items, and each was a magic word. And if we all stand in the rooms, or like not specifically us, but if four people stand in the room saying it,
I mean, I could just make it so that if you guys stand together and say something, then it would reveal itself.
And then
As
if
long
one of
as-
us passes, then it's locked away forever.
Maybe it should just be locked away forever.
That is I don't know. I feel like we agreed to make it like some way that do it in some way that we could actually retrieve it if ever necessary.
I don't remember setting that up. But even then, what use would we have for it if we wanted it? Why would we need it?
Because if you died, we need some way to get it out.
Why?
Well, see, just because we don't know now doesn't mean we never will. Like,
And
once
besides, what
the
if you
bridge
need to
burns-
move it?
That's a
Okay,
good point.
True.
What if its location is compromised and they have a way to remove it and we don't?
Oh.
I may have a suggestion.
Mm.
You talk about setting up this complicated string of things and selecting a bunch of things and hiding them across the world. Why not just make them things that we would never knowingly relinquish without there being a good reason?
Yeah, like that's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking.
I think we all
like-
have something that we always carry.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I could make the condition if one of those things is like, I don't know, it has something happen within it. Of course, you wouldn't be able to touch it. You wouldn't even be able to fucking see it.
If all three of them are united in the same place, then it seems like a secure enough condition to me.
Yeah, I feel like that should do.
Yeah.
And if it makes a difference, make sure that they all have to touch, so that we don't accidentally walk in
Yeah.
and it opens
Yeah,
up.
then the fucking
That-
safe
that
just shows
was-
up. We're like, ah, shit.
I was about
Like,
to
oh,
say-
dang it.
I was about to say that.
Now we need 5,000 gold's worth of.
Several
Oh.
precious gems again.
So, I will say, assuming that you knew that you were going to do this just because you didn't know about the component costing character, you probably would have already prepared this. So,
Well, like,
Probably.
I assume we found the gems in
Yeah,
the hoard somewhere.
spend or just bought them in town. Spend the gold value of stuff that you need. But I assume that you made this preparation in advance.
But the other question is where to put the save to cast the spell. Also, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, but just in case the Cabal may have been listening to Grim and what he's been saying through as a result of the way they've been able to communicate with him, Grim probably shouldn't be there.
I mean, for that matter, you're in the same sort of compromised position.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at
I
this
hold
point,
Honestly-
I don't
I hold
think
the
it
ring up.
matters.
Well, I feel like that is like you say that like that ring has already proven to not be infallible.
Foolproof.
Okay, well, unless they were in my bedroom, it's infallible.
Which
Well,
they
there are
already
ways
snuck
to
into
observe
Kallistrate
without-
bedroom.
Yeah, and not only that, but I'm pretty sure there are ways to observe without being directly in contact with your mind.
True.
So
But all I'm saying is if they're observing Grim directly, they can't be observing me directly. By the
There's
same
more than
method.
one. There's more than one person in the Cabal with considerable power.
we can sit here
I feel like we should
arguing
do
what
this
ifs
as
all day.
yeah we should do it
Yeah.
as a group.
Alright.
regard-
Well, where are we putting it then?
Ah. Should I think it should be somewhere. But like considering we're gonna rebuild this entire, basically this entire place, a little tricky. However,
I mean, I'd personally, I'd suggest bury it somewhere.
I'd suggest the dining hall.
Like
You
putting it
can't
in the dining hall?
sneakily go into the dining hall without like. Well, I guess you could try at night, but like, or in the barracks, like somewhere where people are going to be all the time.
My concern about that is if they do manage to find it, or find out its location and come for it, that puts a lot of people in danger.
I feel like at that point that is not going to be our concern. Well, I know not that I don't care about those people, but if we don't stop them before they get there, I think that's going to be like the least of our problems. I think those people are going to be, well, just just a drop in the ocean of the consequences.
It doesn't mean that we should just ignore it.
No, we shouldn't.
I can't shake the feeling we won't even come back from this at all.
That's pretty dark of you to think.
And we face that danger every time we go out. This is no different.
Just because it's a possibility doesn't mean that we shouldn't think. Ugh, let me try that again. Just because it's a possibility doesn't mean we shouldn't consider our other options.
Yes, another option is what would be a good option? Somewhere that like, because I kind of want it to be a place that you can't just sneak into and do things unnoticed.
Like burying it somewhere central.
But like you kind of run into the same issue.
I think if they have the ability to find this thing, unlock it, and control the contents, I don't think walls or anything else is going to be our biggest concern. I think we should put it somewhere convenient.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think that. Yeah, Fonta's probably right. If they have that information, it means we're either dead or prisoner. Let's be honest.
Wow. If you go ahead and set that up, give me 5 minutes. I think I have an idea.
Why not even put it in here?
Well, I was considering the war.
It's the securest room in this entire place.
I'd like to think so, but I don't think it is. But I think,
Shove it in the corner.
and I guess it is worth the 5,000 investment because I was thinking we're going to have to move it once everything is being rebuilt. But I think we'll just deal with however that works, or however that turns out, and we'll pay the extra 5 or like the additional 5,000 again.
Alternatively, it just ends up on the new floor plan in some random person's room, and they're like, "The fuck."
They can't see it; it's invisible.
No, I know, but like we have to come back for it. We just like burst into the room, like, "All right, get out!
Hey, what's up?
Gotta go."
Honestly, like I just imagine it being the pantry or something. Oh.
Vondel comes back after a few minutes of you discussing this with some incense and a vial of holy water.
What are you planning with those?
I'm going to find out if they know everything we've been talking about.
Well,
Oh.
let's hope that works.
Probably a good idea.
He sits down cross-legged on the floor, puts the incense in a small tray, lights it, pours out the holy water. A few moments pass. He looks up from his prayer and says, well, they know we're up to something, but they're not watching us right now, and they don't know our plan.
Well, I hope that's true.
I mean, that's about as good as we can hope for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just still a little paranoid from last time we had spying business.
Well, if it helps, that doesn't come from me.
Oh, I see.
We'll make the preparations you need, and I
Yeah,
guess
we need-
everybody find an object, and we'll see each other here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or are you already prepared?
Well,
yeah, I will have to cast the spell tomorrow. Read, I don't have sequester prepped at the moment.
well. Can you cast the spell that hides us?
Yeah, it only hides for magic. Yeah, it'll only last a minute.
Then I think everyone should decide on their object. We should cast it, and then we should say, just to be sure.
Wait, do we need to bring the object along for the ritual, or is knowing of the object enough?
It
I
doesn't
think
say.
she just has to state the conditions.
Yeah.
So as long as she knows what they are.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess you three are picking one?
Makes most sense to me.
Yeah. You three each pick something in your possession.
It's kind of a
But-
tough one.
My suggestion is something that's been with you since the beginning. Or something that means something to you. Something you're not likely to forget.
I like carrying around everything I can.
Yeah, we've noticed.
That's why you always have the bag of holding.
Video game mentality.
Right?
Yeah.
You hoard everything.
I'll pick up every single plate on this shelf. Will I sell
Ooh.
them? Probably not. It's only worth 1 gold. Pointless.
Well, I did buy everything. Well, most of the junk. I paid money for my junk.
You did. You bought your junk. You didn't pick up.
And
your
in
junk
the
off
middle
some
of
random-
battle, Quagrim Daemaris devoured 56 wheels of cheese.
It's proved useful.
Oh,
And with his vitality fully restored. Fucking Skyrim. I think 56 wheels of cheese probably weighs more than Grim.
It's probably a lot.
Yeah. But we have a bag of holding, so maybe it doesn't
The
matter.
best part about it is Grim's lactose intolerant.
Wait, is he?
No.
what?
Oh, I thought
No.
this was like some
What?
weird
That was just a
canon
joke.
that we'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
That'd be some
No.
deep lore.
Like, I would
mean, I
not
don't
be
know.
so cruel to Grim.
That's to deny him milk and cheese.
Oh. See, like, not eating a lot of milk and cheese is okay, but like just not being able to is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's the fucking worst.
Jayla says, as someone who's lactose.
To be fair though, the amount of people who are lactose intolerant who just go like,
Fuck it.
well,
I'll
yeah,
deal
I
with the
know I'm lactose
consequences.
intolerant, but I'm still gonna eat this chocolate bar.
Anyway,
That's future meat's problem.
time to decide.
I guess we'll just
Yeah, Whenever
Has
everyone's ready.
everybody chosen?
Yeah.
No.
Arya?
Yeah.
You all ready?
Okay.
Okay, I will cast Globe of
Oh,
Invulnerability.
actually, this may sound a little rude, but should you step outside, Vandal?
He sort of thinks for a moment and says, "I don't. I'll go just in case."
Well, like it's safer, I guess. If you need to know, we can always tell you, but we can't untell you.
Yeah. On that grounds, I'll wait.
Okay.
So you, Elizabeth goes to cast the spell, and in this moment, you realise that Lithari is not here.
Oh,
Oh, well,
She was here when you started, and in some point during the thing, she's left.
that sounds like Lithari, honestly.
Yeah. Well, she's off making a plaque. It's fine.
Or terrorizing the guards again.
Yep.
Oh no, they're gone. Just kidding. Ha!
right. Well, I'm also going to upcast Globe of Invulnerability.
Okay.
Oh.
I will cast it with my 8th level spell slot, so that it will therefore block any spell of 7th level or lower cast from outside the barrier.
Okay.
Just for a little bit of extra safety, because I'm not going to need the 8th level spell slot today.
Okay.
And then another
Suddenly, a
damage
demon attacks.
Well, I've only got one 8th level spell, and
Honestly,
it's
wouldn't
mind blank,
surprise me.
so
with our luck, though.
Yeah. So you cast the Globe of Invulnerability. You have a minute.
so
So
Hello.
my Legionnaire's insignia, or my rank insignia.
Kelariis.
The pendant that Tallithsyr gave me as a gift before I left.
Arya.
Sorry, what? What did you say, Kelariis?
The pendant that Tallithsyr gave me as a gift before I left.
Okay.
Like way back when.
And Arya.
I'm gonna get the little sculpture that Kelariis gave us a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't it very sweet? I don't really have that many sentimental items, so
Fair.
Fucking rip Arya.
rip.
Well, I have like the most generic item as well.
Yeah. So I guess Elizabeth regards all the items and just does a little nod. I'm scared.
Don't worry. There's nothing to be. Well, there's not a lot to be scared of.
There's nothing wrong with being scared either.
The dome dissipates.
We're done, Vandal. If
Yeah. He comes back up the stairs.
so, what now?
Well, I guess we start sharpening our stakes and wait for your magic to replenish. Oh, how long does it take you to cast that hiding spell?
An action.
You might want to do it whilst you're in your dome, if you can. Don't know if that's an option.
Yeah, should be.
How long does sequester take to cast?
An action.
Then you can.
It's no, it's not concentration. So yeah, you can.
No. Yeah, it's not concentration.
Oh. Because otherwise the whole hiding it away seems a little
Yeah.
pointless.
And of course, Globe of Invulnerability only counters magic cast from outside the barrier.
We did it. Took us 1 hour, but we came up with an idea to hide our artifact again. Probably the exact same idea we had last time, but it's fine. We finally actually did it.
No, I'm pretty sure this is a different idea.
I think it's same idea, different execution.
Well,
fair enough.
kind of.
Well,
But yeah,
anyway,
yeah. Vandal sort of said, well, I guess he just sort of like regards that you guys are finished and stuff. Says, well, steaks are easy enough. Speaking of steaks, it's probably time for some food.
mm,
Good segue.
Oh,
yeah, food would be nice.
be good. I guess on and then like on our way to the hall, the dining hall.
Mhm.
On a slightly lighter note, I was thinking, like, considering we're like we've been in human territory for quite some time. But once we get like more applicants, perhaps we can try get more more versatile recruits.
Like some elven archers.
You know, you're not the first person to suggest that.
Oh,
Well,
Oh.
Sidani was talking about how we could do with diversifying the roster a little.
mm,
We've got a variety of skill sets, but wouldn't hurt to
yeah,
branch out into different capabilities.
yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, different nations are renowned for different things.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get all of their expertise in on this.
Gotta collect them all.
Get some Dragonborn shock troops, elven archers.
I think Dragonborn shock troops is a little bit wishful thinking.
Well,
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
crazy.
you know what I mean.
I mean, we've got 2, and that's more than I think I've ever seen outside of the borders.
Well, we're
Wow.
also special cases, so.
Well,
Hey, you never know.
No, I think I know pretty well.
I think I know.
But
we'll breed our own dragonborn. No.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Wait a second.
Nope. No.
But hey, we can get some elven archers,
Uh,
get some dwarven heavy infantry.
well, I'm sure we'll find.
Get some gnomes. They'll build some siege engines.
Well,
We are
like,
getting far ahead of ourselves, I think.
yes, I feel
Yeah, but
like.
that's half the fun.
Besides, I hope siege engines are not what we're gonna need.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Siege engines is maybe a strong word. I don't mean like let's get a load of trebuchets. I mean like smaller stuff that you'd actually use on a battlefield. I suppose artillery would really be the better choice of word.
I mean, the point is, having to bring the conflict here is not something I think we want.
No.
Oh well, but we'll decide once we get to that point, or
Yeah.
we'll see what is offered and what we can do. But
Yeah,
it's something
of course.
to keep in mind.
Yeah, shall we eat?
Yeah, you take a brief break to eat some food. And I guess the question is, what preparations do you want to make before you're thinking of heading off? And where are you headed?
Oh man, I should have. 2 weeks is not a long time, and it's self-imposed as well. I think most of Grimm's time would be spent just like polishing, like making sure his armor and all that stuff is up to par, and making sure that everybody, like, kind of pushing everybody into getting their personal item, or think of a personal item to bring.
Mhm.
Not really
I mean,
too much special.
I bring a personal item with me everywhere I go.
I was gonna say, I also always have mine on me, so.
Good.
Because my spellcasting focus.
Otherwise, well, I don't know if anybody else has anything to do.
I mean, I kind of think of a thing Elizabeth would do that night that might be a scene.
Okay.
Because I think, like... Because, like, I know I want to do the thing, but I have no idea what I actually want to say. It's that classic difficult thing.
Okay. Have a think. Does anyone else have anything they want to do?
There is one thing I want to do during this 2 weeks. Because I realized there's one thing that we kind of, like, we mentioned it, but we didn't do anything about it. If we want to be there in 2 weeks, we're gonna have to, like, we're gonna have the fork attuned, which we're probably gonna have to go to the Shadowfell to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I always thought the plan was just find an entrance to the Shadowfell, go in, attune the fork, teleport.
Yes. However, we do kind of need to figure out where,
Yeah,
where that might be.
the just find part is the problem.
True.
Yeah, I mean, we have contacts.
I mean, what about with the one that you guys used the first time?
Yeah,
Not
was it? It
still
was
be applicable?
Zale, oh, well, that was a weird like passing situation. Like we had a window for that,
Yes.
so we had to make it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
So yeah, we'd have to
But
go back to the capital.
Zale was the one.
yeah,
Yeah, Zale helped us find
Zale knows things, yes. Yeah, the previous one you used made use of the Conflux of Souls, which no longer exists because
yeah,
you
of
dispelled it.
course. Yeah.
Oh right.
So now we're gonna have ooh. So yeah, I guess we need to go to the capital.
We should at least send a message ahead of time.
I mean,
Yeah. Can't believe.
Technically, I can get us there instantly.
Well, yes, but that gives Zale time to
True.
look into things at least while we finish whatever it is we need to do here.
True.
They try and keep track of any of those kind of hot spots.
Yeah. I mean, Blondal can cast sending. You can send a message to Zale, right?
I can. What do you want to say?
Please help find.
Well, yeah.
Shadow.
We need. I guess we should tell him like.
Need portal to Shadowfell,
Yeah,
roll that
we need
stake, blah de
just-
blah,
yeah.
standard deal.
Standard stuff, you know.
Yeah, we need another way
Yeah,
into
the
the
usual.
Shadowfell. I mean, do we want to give? We don't want to give him too many details, right?
No, just say we need to get back to the shadow. He knows we do some weird shit. Like
Yeah,
it's
he
fine.
knows.
Okay, true. I guess just tell him we need another way into the Shadowfell to deal with a threat.
Okay. Blondal sends a message. Well, he didn't seem thrilled about it, but he said he'll help.
I mean, understandable, really.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I'd probably much rather just be sitting doing my work rather than helping get to the Shadowfell.
Every time we go, like, every time we discuss, like, playing or helping, I'm just like, I did say Tiff could join at one point, but
Nope, bad.
Not to this one.
I feel like if we should start off in the Feywilds if we ever do.
Yeah.
They're dangerous, but they're a different kind of dangerous.
Yeah, much less dangerous than.
More of a.
And hell, in theory, if Elizabeth knows the name of Arya's hometown, like home village, Elizabeth could just teleport us all there. That'd be much safer.
Wait, you've been to the capital, haven't you?
Nope.
Oh no, it was another library.
Yeah, Elizabeth has not been to the capital.
Elizabeth has never been to Argen'tel'lyrind. She just wants to go. For obvious reasons.
Like, ask if they have a public use magic circle.
Well,
highly doubt it.
Well, yeah, no. Also, like, if she wants to get there, she can just say, "I want to teleport." She can just like she can say where on the plane she wants to go. So she goes, "I want to go to Argen'tel'lyrind." Boom! It'll either put us in Argen'tel'lyrind or like just outside it, or you know.
I guess
Well, Argen'tel'lyrind is
What's-
on the same plane, so
We said it would still be allowed, though. We have said that in the past.
what, to plane shift to different?
No, as in like we can still use plane shift to go to somewhere on the same plane.
Did we?
do we? I don't think we did.
I am
I
absolutely certain we did.
I thought we said it was the other way around because it expressly says that you can go to teleport circles, but they're only if they're on the other planes.
Oh, I was just talking about teleporting normally. I'm not necessarily thinking about going to a circle.
Yeah, but that's kind of what teleport is for.
Yeah, I know.
Well, like, see, I think the problem is in the
Yeah.
wording.
Yeah,
Transport to a different plane.
true.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go to our nearest different plane, and then we can go. That would be kind of funny.
Do you reckon
Arya,
that,
can you
that hole in
find
the
us
ground?
a way into the Feywild?
I was gonna say if that if that nearby hole in the ground is still part of the is still a pocket of the Feywild.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
that's
the last one I was
it's not
Um,
quite the Feywild.
Yeah, the pocket plane that the dragon was in has collapsed.
Yeah. Also, like, I kind of like maybe that was I didn't quite say, but I kind of assumed that we would like fill it up with dirt or something along those lines.
You'd need a lot
that's
of
also just
dirt.
kind of-
Yeah,
Well,
the-
like-
the-
It would probably have collapsed before you could fill it in.
Well, like
Yeah.
it was more, just like just collapse the edges kind of deal to fill it up. But
We
So you'd
just
get more of a
widen the
pit.
hole.
well, like you'd kind of get like a pit kind of deal. But
Yeah,
it's
it would
fine.
be less. Actually, yeah, that's a good question. When the plane itself collapses, like, what happens to this? Does the sinkhole just kind of like?
There is no longer a sinkhole. It's just gone.
Oh,
Oh, interesting.
how bizarre.
Oh, I thought the sinkhole itself was part of like the natural environment. I see.
Yeah, same.
Incorrect.
Wow, that is weird. Feywild
Well,
is
that's-
fucking weird.
Yeah, it's
That's-
fucking weird. Again,
yeah.
this is not the Feywild.
Yep.
That was a pocket dimension
Yes.
that happened to be linked to the Feywild.
It was
It's-
created rather than organic.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to think like Arya just sighs like, how many good times do I have to
How
tell
many
you?
times?
Yeah, but you can't deny the Feywild is not weird. The
I'm
Feywild
not
is
saying the
weird.
Feywild
it's just
is
not
not
weird
weird.
for that reason.
But
Anyway.
can you
Yeah,
can you teleport or can't you? That's the real question now.
I guess. No, because we're still on the material plane.
Well, I can
Well-
find us a way into the Feywild.
Wait, so you don't actually have access to regular teleport?
I only have
Wild.
makeshift.
We should probably fix that at some point.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
that seems useful.
Also, because
Uh,
we haven't done because we have some downtime, we still have
let me
two
check the thing.
scrolls. I'm not sure if you can use both of them, but I'm pretty sure you haven't learned them yet.
Oh. I know. I've got one scroll.
Did you? Oh, did you end up learning fabricate?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Just
Also, the only scroll I've got is not really that. I don't know. I don't see it being very useful.
What is it?
It's a scroll of Phantom Steed.
okay. So you did take
Yeah.
Fanart.
I've got the
No,
scroll of
I'll-
Phantom. No, like I don't have Phantom Steed. I just have
No,
the
but
scroll for it.
Yeah, but like the scroll, that is what I.
Yeah, I've got the scroll for it. But if let me just check a thing.
You do possess a scroll of teleport, by the way.
Do we?
Yes, V possesses one, but she cannot learn it.
Oh.
Oh God, yeah.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, but you had that for emergencies, but we never got
Yeah.
around to
Yeah,
it.
we never ended up using it, which is good.
Which is good because it was very dangerous.
Yeah, like there was a high chance that we all would have just fucking died or just not all gone or something.
But I'm sure V would be willing to donate it to you if you wished.
I
That might
feel
be
like that
useful.
Hell yeah, that'd be fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
that would be definitely worth it.
Yeah.
In which case, do we want to retroactively say that you have learned it because if you know teleport, did Elenia taught you the circle, or did she?
No, she never told me about the circle.
Retroactively speaking, when she talked to you about the whole coming to see her, she would have taught you the thing if she knew you could do it.
Oh, the code for the circle.
Yes.
Oh.
No,
Convenient.
Oh.
I can't believe
I did not expect that.
the
Because
best retcons.
for some reason, I thought she'd already taught you that, but maybe I never expressly stated that.
Well, the
Oh.
others would potentially know.
Well,
Well,
probably
no, because they can't cast a spell, so they can't learn it.
Also, I think
So, are we
we
just saying
haven't-
I can cast teleport now?
Well, you'll have to expend some resources
yeah,
for
the
it.
resources.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And well,
Well, let's see what level it is.
7th level.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a lot of resources.
I'll just take it off our.
So, spell casting.
Isn't it like 100 per level or is it 50?
I think it's 50.
It should say in your
Yeah, I'm looking for it now.
wizard skills.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Honestly, teleport will open. Like just thinking about the fact that we have teleport will open so many doors. Finally, we can travel back and forth around the world within a day.
For each level
Well,
spell, the process takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold.
Yeah, per level.
So I guess it is only
So that's
14.
350 gold.
That's not too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's
It's wild that we're at the place where we can be like, oh, that's like nothing.
well. Even if we had less gold, like even before we got this treasure hoard, I would have been like, yes, do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
true.
no, but like, I mean, it's wild to think that we're at that point at all.
That's true.
I know. Remember a few levels ago when we were just trying to scrape by?
When we were still in debt.
Admittedly, we've also got to the point where actually buying stuff that we can use to improve ourselves is hard,
Yeah.
regardless of money.
Well, right now you need to spend gold to expand your army, because that's about as much as you can get.
True.
But yeah, also, yeah. So yeah, there we go. Teleport. Woo. So in theory, I could just teleport us like directly to the college.
You can, yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, because when you learn it, you learn. Oh yeah, so actually, I don't even need to retroactively say, because when you learn the spell, you
Yeah.
learn. So Elenia would have taught you the. Where does it say what you learn? Or is that teleportation circle that you get them?
Yeah, it might be teleportation.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so it's
teleportation
teleportation circle that you learn them. Okay, so you learn teleport. Elenia teaches you the sigil for the permanent circle in.
Wait, what is the difference between circle and regular teleport?
Circle can be different over time, I think.
Yeah,
teleport circle makes a permanent circle and also requires you to teleport to a circle. Teleport can just take you anywhere.
Okay.
Also, the grid for teleport doesn't really work properly in the Roll20's format, so I might just have to keep it open in a different tab.
the mishap table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't worry about the mishap table, because that's the thing that I worry about.
Yeah, but I still want to be able to read it so I know what I'm getting us into.
Just replace the thing with doom and death
See,
destruction.
The text under the table tells you that you don't need the table.
Yeah, but it's like not formatted very well and it's hard to read.
Okay.
Well, you'll find a way.
But yeah, anyway, is that sorted?
Yeah.
So are we actually taking 2 weeks here? Is that like?
Well, that is up to you.
I think it was more a case of we take the time we need to get the stuff that we want, and then from that point on we can decide if we need to do anything else.
Ah, I see.
But like 2 weeks was kind of like if we take more than 2 weeks, well, we don't want to. Like, it might not be bad, but like our aim is to do it in less.
We don't want to. Right. Okay. Sorry.
But yeah.
Not that
Lingering
that made
is
a difference
probably not a
in
good
my
idea.
thinking. I was just curious because I was like, wait, hold on.
But hey,
So
well,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. This is not like a scene thing. I just want to make it clear that like I am expressly telling Tallithsyr like what is kind of going down. I
Okay.
don't explain the whole thing that we made a whole big deal about making very secret, but I kind of explain like, hey, I'm gonna be fucking going. Shit's happening. It's
Yeah.
kicking off.
you know what? I should probably also pay a little bit more attention to Sadani.
Yeah, Minnie, God. Fucking, I think I've had more conversations with Sadani than you have.
I know.
See,
Yeah, I think all of us have had more conversations with
I'm-
Sadani.
well, I've had like 2, maybe
Okay, yeah.
3 if you count like pre-Sadani phase.
Okay,
Like-
well, I'm pretty sure I've had like 3 with her just like over the past 2 sessions.
But see, I'm that like Sadani's like training, and then I'm like there in the background just nodding, and that's our
Just
that's our-
nodding, like not even saying anything.
Yeah.
God.
Uh,
That
I
was
just
a
picture
terrible
her
teacher.
literally
That's-
standing there nodding, like, yep, mm-hmm.
That's actually
like-
that's actually something to note. Victoria was minute.
Wow.
Who's Victoria?
I don't know. Elizabeth's probably like still approaching Sadani for sparring potentially.
Yeah.
But also she's gonna be like, hey yo, that one time when you said you want me to teach you to knife fight, you said that in a really interesting way. What exactly did you have in mind?
She teaches you how to knife fight.
Good.
Wow.
It's just the way she
It's-
said it.
Yeah.
She wanted, like, yeah.
It's fine. No,
I wasn't expecting innuendo. God, I'm not like that all the time. Come on.
No.
but no.
She said it like that because she looked at you, she saw scrawny wizards, and was like, "You want to learn how to street fight with knives?" Like, what?
To be fair, she probably also saw like a dagger.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth has a single dagger on her person.
Yes.
It's fine. Oh well, but I do assume that like I do have more meaningful like interactions with her. Just,
Yeah, I mean, like every day
Definitely.
you're in the base, she probably has briefings with you, like in the morning.
Yeah.
I've just not been as
The conversations you have with Sadani are probably not that interesting to roleplay.
Mm.
But if you want to have a
Barfing
conversation,
theory.
we can have a conversation.
Well, I was thinking of maybe I should start informing her a little more, considering I feel like the risk that we're taking currently is slightly beyond normal.
Sure, let's make a thing of it.
Sure, why not?
So I think we have a scene, as was previously mentioned. Sadani and Elizabeth are sparring. As you arrive, they finish. Sadani like offers a short bow to Elizabeth. Sees you in the corner, comes over, says, "What's up, boss?"
So, I thought it might be time to start getting you a little more in the loop about things. Because up till now, we've kept you and Facera fairly in the dark most of the time, mostly
have.
for your own safety. But I feel like I'm gonna have to start putting a little more trust in your capabilities and in just your general judgment from here on out, which I think you've earned so far.
Thanks, boss.
So here, the thing is, we're going to be heading out relatively soon, probably in the next couple of days, and there's probably going to be the keep is going to be a mess because if things go to plan, things are gonna improve around here. With the money we got from the dragon, we're gonna get this place an upgrade.
Yeah, Vondal did
Finally
say
gonna-
something about expanding the perimeter and getting some new buildings in.
Finally getting like a proper fortified area, because currently it's functional, but it's besides the
Cramped.
point. On top of other things.
Yeah.
But the point is, like I'm kind of, what I'm kind of working. I will like just lay it out. I'm kind of working towards making you like kind of a leader, potentially of well, just a few of the battalion. Well, not battalion. Battalion is slightly big.
Squads.
Regiments.
A few of the squads are regiments. I feel like you would be capable of that.
She
but
looks
yeah.
sort of stunned. Just sort of,
Well,
wow,
maybe
you really mean that?
I do. Although I will say, I currently don't get too excited. I haven't made any plans for it just yet. However, I'm also going to warn you that we have had some threats of potential danger heading towards us. It's not confirmed or anything, or if it's like the keep or us, me or someone else. So it might happen unexpectedly, and I thought like at least you should know that I have faith in you. The reason is because I don't know. We never. How much did we tell you about the Cabal?
I got bits and pieces here and there from what Vondal mentioned. It was mostly hush hush, but I take it they're bad guys, and we had the whole deal with the whatever that thing was.
Yes. We're hopefully gonna. We're gonna be heading over there, and we've no idea how it's gonna go down exactly. But yeah, I like if things go south, things might turn out it might change over here, and I'm not quite sure what we will do. But I'm sure you and sure Fadal will figure that out. I'm just rambling at this point. But yes.
She sort of she draws herself up to sort of her full height and sort of says, "Don't worry, boss. It really means a lot that you're putting your faith in me like this, and well, whatever comes, well, I'll make sure we're ready for it."
Although there is one thing I'll like tell Fadal to. Perhaps it might be an idea to do some basic exercises with a squad of your choosing.
She
Just,
sort of nods.
Because even though I think you can do it, it's always better if you get a little bit of practice before you actually need to put your skills to the test.
That'd be appreciated.
Good. Well, I guess. Well, I guess you're done with Elizabeth. Hope she's still in one piece, but
Oh yeah, I've probably just got a few bruises, nothing unusual.
So I'll let you freshen up after that.
Thanks. I could use that.
Good.
Thanks again, Sidani.
It's no trouble. Okay. Yeah, she walks away with like you could say a spring in her step.
Good.
But yeah, I specifically wanted to do a thing like on the day we had the big discussion.
Okay.
Like that night.
Well, I'm assuming this is all happening over the space of the same day, so.
Okay, fair. But yeah, I think it's like everyone's probably been like getting ready for bed, about to go to sleep and stuff.
Mhm.
And like once everyone's in their rooms, Elizabeth probably goes out, probably in her like nightgown / pajamas or whatever. And she's gonna knock on Arya's door.
Okay.
Okay, I answer.
Hi, Arya. Can I come in and talk to you about something?
Yeah. And I like let her in. Imagine Lyra's just like
Yeah.
laying on my bed, like
Yeah.
what?
Just the
It's like
big
half
mound of
off.
fur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
She's a
pretty
bit big
yeah.
for it now.
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
imagine
yeah.
the bed is that big.
Yeah.
No.
If Lyra's like looking at how Elizabeth will wave, but like,
She
Lyra's
just
put my
watches
bed
you
up on
walk
you.
across the room.
Yeah.
yep, checks out.
So what do you want to talk about?
I guess it's almost like I want advice.
This is not what Arya
I know, right? Because, well, of course I watch all of you guys carefully when we're out, when we're fighting stuff, and I don't know, you always seem really calm and composed despite what's going on, and I was like, how do you manage that exactly? I know this is a completely stupid question, but like,
It's not stupid, but unfortunately there's not a super easy answer. All of us have been in combat for many years. It's not something that you are born with, it's something that you have to learn, train with. You just have to keep in the back of your head, if you lose your focus, then you'll probably lose the battle. My advice would be just to, when you train, you also have to train your mind to be calm. You can't just swing a sword around and expect yourself to get that. It's something you have to concentrate on, constantly think about. Like, you know, when you're casting spells,
Yeah.
and you have to have a focus, like your literal. She has a spell casting focus, right?
yeah,
You know how you concentrate on that? Concentrate on your weapon, or concentrate on something that you can see. Just something that will keep your mind clear.
okay.
Focus you in. And again, it's just practice and repetition, like everything else.
Okay.
Also, meditation. It helps.
Yeah, I've tried my hand at that from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
just when I have a spare moment. But
Yeah.
I know. I guess I also want you to know before we get in with all of this utter chaos. Like, I know we have our disagreements about honestly quite a lot of things, but
Yes.
I still want you to know that even if I'm arguing with you or shouting back at you or whatever, I do respect you.
I respect you too. Even if you frustrate me at times, we are a team. And I would trust you with my life.
This will be honestly like a slight blush at that, as because oh, that's. I don't don't know why I'm so surprised to hear that. But yeah, thanks. I won't take more of your time. I just like slowly stop walking towards the door.
Okay.
Yep. And then just like as she's closing it, it's just like, good night, Arya. I'll see you in
Good
the morning.
night.
I think Arya, as you're sort of getting ready to go to bed for the evening, you think about the conversation, and there is a vivid reminder of on the subject of keeping focused during combat, of a young man who had a very irritating habit of sucking his bottom lip every time he was concentrating on something, and you have a small chuckle to yourself remembering that.
Tragic backstory,
Mm-hmm.
but make it soft.
But wholesome.
Make it
Yep.
soft.
Yeah. On a related note, when Elizabeth concentrating on things, she definitely sticks her tongue out of the side of her mouth ever so slightly.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I do
fair.
that. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And scene.
Okay. So I think with that in mind, at the end of the first day, before we get into any other preparations, I need to borrow Kelariis.
Oh.
What?
Oh shit.
Okay.
First time that's happened in a while.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
So one evening, in the evening as you're going to sleep, you feel sort of the sleep take you. You fall into rest, and a vision begins to sort of grow in your mind. A familiar sensation that you haven't felt this intensely for a while, as you suddenly become aware of a second presence that accompanies you in your dream.
That's a nice one.
And as you sort of focus up, you're standing in a like a sparse clearing where the trees have lost their leaves, and there's sort of like a damp wetness just after a storm fills the air. And stood in front of you with the setting sun sort of forming a loose halo around the back of his head, is the figure you recognize as Tritherion. And as you sort of become aware of him, you sort of hear him speak. And he says, Kelariis, there are forces in motion. Forces that have not moved amongst these boughs for, well, far longer than any of your kind remembers.
What do you mean by that?
He sort of like reaches out a hand to you and says, "Come, let me show you."
Like reaching out a hand, like actually offering?
Like as if he wants to you're standing in front of him. He wants you to like take his hand.
Okay, I will do that.
You take his hand, and all of a sudden the ground rushes away from your feet, and you are in the air looking down upon this expansive forest that rolls for miles. And it's strange. It's familiar, yet you've never seen it before. And he points out to the horizon, where it looks like there is almost like a greyish mist that is stirring through the trees. And he says, "Something is coming. Something on the horizon. I am not yet sure what it is, but it is nothing good. I need you to be vigilant, Kelariis. As always. This time especially so."
Of course. Do you think that it's related to the Cabal or to the Dread Legion?
I do not know. Whatever it is, it moves in ways beyond my sight. Whether that is intentional or not is yet to be seen.
Whatever it is, I'll be ready.
I have no doubt. He turns to you, and almost like in an instant you're back on the ground. And he he gestures to your gear, and you realise that despite the fact that you're lying in bed in whatever you wear to bed, in your dream you're clad in your full set of armor, carrying both the sword, all of the sword, the spear, and the staff.
Mhm.
And he says, "Your weapons suit you, but there is still potential. Seek me out when there is time. I would very much like to hold my old blades again. And perhaps there is still more fragment of my power I can give."
How will I be able to find you then?
He gestures to the forest around him and says, "I am here. You'll know it when you come."
Hmm. Then when I am able to, I will.
I look forward to it.
As do I. And I think, like, Kelariis kind of bows a bit.
He smiles and says, "There is no need for that."
It is respect for the help that you have given. I know that you asked me to do these things, but still.
Then in that case... And he gets down on one knee and kneels before you and says, "Thank you. For without you, many things that have come to pass would not have. And the world would be a darker place for it." He returns back to his standing position.
I think Kelariis is like, Kelariis is not easily flustered, but is
Hmm.
definitely like, yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't expecting that. Then I hope to continue doing what I can to make the world better.
And that is all I can ask of you. I think he turns away to like face like the upper path through the forest and says, I still have some time in me. Perhaps we can walk for a while.
I think I would like that.
So the two of you wander this path. It winds up through similar trees where the leaves have fallen and the heavy storm smell still sort of permeates. And the colours of the trees change from deep browns to greyish silvers to other more vibrant hues that seem almost unnatural, but in the same way are perfectly organic. And as he walks, he sort of says, do you know why I chose this place? In my exile.
I do not believe I do.
It reminds me. It reminds me both of where I came from and where I chose my path.
Where is that?
It was on your plane. Many, many thousands of years ago, by your standards. The other gods and I, we had a choice to make.
Was it the choice that led you to be exiled here, or was it a different one?
Yes and no. Ultimately, it was the choice that would result in my exile, but it was not the final choice.
What was it then, if I may ask?
He turns to you and looks at you with a look that you've never seen in his eyes before. And it's almost a sadness. And he says, I made the decision turn against some of those I cared about. To risk everything that I and all those like me stood for. I chose that instead of us, others should be given a chance. You may come to know this story more intimately in future. But before you judge that story, know this. I chose what I thought was best. And I stand by that decision. And I hope that should you ever have to make the same decision, you would feel the same. But I have gone on long enough. It's time for you to go. Yeah, he just says, it's time for you to go home. And then you respond.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you for sharing a little of it. I may not know exactly what happened, but
There will come a time when you will.
Knowing that you would make the same choice gives me not quite hope, but perhaps as vague of an understanding as I can have.
I think all will come to light soon. I simply wished for you to hear my side.
I see.
Well, continue on, Kelariis Greysurge. Be righteous.
I will.
And your consciousness sort of slowly comes to as you wake up.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't the one that felt the consequences.
No, you definitely were. Shut up. Anyway, hello.
Hi.
Hello. So, you all wake up the next morning.
Cool. Yum yum breakfast.
Yay,
Yep.
breakfast.
Yeah, so without wanting to without feeling like we need to go into too much detail, if anyone else has anything that they want to have a scene for, then go ahead. But otherwise, we will skip forward and you will decide what it is that is your next move, where you are headed.
So I guess there was nothing important in that conversation. Good to know.
Well,
Hmm.
I guess our first move is go to the capital, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think meeting up with Zale is probably our move right now.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay.
Although actually,
So-
well, like, how many days are we? Did we go forward? Because we still had like the day of.
Well, that is how you how up to you to decide how long you want it to take.
I assume we still needed to take a day to actually conceal the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you spend that day doing it.
Well, I can
Maybe maybe one more day to actually get all the stakes that we need.
Well, no, we don't need that many days to make wooden stakes. I mean, come on.
We need extras.
Well, I feel like we need
how
at
long do you think
least.
How long do you think it takes to sharpen a piece of wood?
You need. Okay, look. You gotta make sure it's a really good piece of wood. And it needs
Yeah.
to be real sharp.
Well,
We have standards.
you have the time, materials, and proficiencies to be able to do that.
Look, yeah, oh yeah, I even have wood crafting proficiency.
I was gonna say,
You
doesn't
do,
Grim
yeah.
have
shit.
woodwork?
Or woodworking, yes.
Grim
I
has
haven't-
proficiency
Whittling
in
for,
wood
like, 2
carving.
days.
Oh yeah, I haven't properly been able to use it yet, but one day.
No, you have used it once. You made the new sign for
Oh yeah, and then
the stag in Silverbrook.
Oh god, that was ages ago.
That was.
I did get some
ages
help with
ago.
the magic, because keeping the magic in the wood was a problem,
Yes.
and that's ages ago.
Dang.
I haven't used it in over 200 episodes.
My god.
This is fine. Well, still quicker than my backstory.
Oh
Ah!
dang.
Wow.
Shots fired. Shots
At
fired against
himself?
yourself.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Self shots.
Yeah.
Self shots.
I think it's called just a self burn, right?
Shots.
fine.
Shots fired. You know, same thing.
But I guess otherwise we can just travel. Yeah.
Basically, he gave himself a carpet burn. That's the gist of it.
Okay. So as you're sort of putting everything together, getting ready to teleport to the capital, at some point somebody goes, "Hey, where's Lithari?" At which point Lithari appears from seemingly out of nowhere and goes, "Here I am."
Where have you been?
A lady never tells.
Oh my god.
Dang.
All right, whatever.
Good.
So, I'm guessing you still want in on. I don't know. I don't know. Are you doing your own thing now, or do you want us to catch you up on what you missed and come with us?
Well, Vondar tells me you're going to the capital. I'm happy to tag along. I haven't been there in quite a long time. And
Cool.
there are some people I'd like to catch up with.
Cool. Well, I can teleport us straight to the circle at the college.
Beep.
Sorry. There's a truck outside my window, and I don't know why.
Yeah, so you're teleporting straight away. You may want to, as courtesy, let people know that you're coming.
Yes.
Oh
That's
yeah.
probably a good idea, huh?
Yes. I will use sending to let
Okay.
us know we're coming, and then after sending the message, we'll wait like half an hour. Just-
Yeah, you cast sending to let Elena know you're coming, and she says, "Ah, I'll be happy to receive you."
Cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll wait like half an hour.
Okay.
And then teleport us, just so they have time to prepare.
Okie dokie. I need to unarchive something.
To the circle.
It's been so long.
Wow.
Dang, it's been a long time since we've been here.
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
the city of spires.
I think last time we were here, we had a dangerous package.
You
Yes.
did.
Very dangerous.
No, because we came back
And we got shot at.
afterwards.
Yeah.
No, the last time we were
Oh
here-
yes, last time you were here, you were getting a medal ceremony.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
wait. Only
I-
Kelariis and Arya were here for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of
Yep.
this group.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Boy, oh man.
Yeah, I've got some fond
Boy.
memories of, I think, around about here-ish, where we once got shot at
Yes, in the Moon
by a
District.
sneaky climbing person with a crossbow.
By an assassin, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's fine.
I don't have
Wow.
the city
Blasted
track,
by
but I'll
cold
play something else.
magic.
But yes, you got blasted by cold magic in a basement.
Yep. And Lyra did an epic takedown.
Yeah, so you all gather in a circle, hold hands, step into the portal, and materialize in the Arcane Academy's central spire with the teleport circle. As you step through, Lady Elena is on the other side, along with several of the older college members that you remember seeing last time, as well as Professor Akamenios Zale. Lady Elena sort of says, "Well, I have to admit I wasn't expecting to see you all so soon, but it is a pleasure."
We weren't. I guess
Yes,
we didn't
well,
quite expect it to be this quick either, but well, go ahead.
I believe some of you have met previously the Dean, and sort of introduces one of the older elves who sort of like shakes your hands. This is the Vice Chancellor, who also introduces himself. Some of you have also met him. And I suppose Professor Akamenios Zale needs no introduction. He sort of steps in and says, "Well, actually, some of you."
Yes. Yeah, let's point out as well, Elizabeth looks extremely nervous through all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, she says, yes, we've not been introduced, Professor Zale.
He sort of looks at you expectantly.
Yeah, and she'll give like a short bow and say, Elizabeth Topaz Agiad.
Pleasure. He extends his hand.
Yep, shakes his hand. Also, I'm trying to remember now, didn't we say like it's very possible Elizabeth would have read some of his books?
Yes, you have possibly read some of his theses.
Yeah, in which case Elizabeth will say, I must confess to have heard of you before I made the acquaintance of my companions here. I've read several of your theses.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize you were a fellow academic, but I suppose I should have made the deduction.
Yes.
Well, shall we head to my office?
That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah. Time is kind of the essence, but we're ahead on schedule, so.
Yeah, Lady Elena sort of nods and says, Professor Zale and I have made some arrangements that might make your discussions easier.
Oh,
Oh, that's
yes, that'd
that's
be good.
that's very kind of you.
It's much appreciated.
Well, if you'll excuse me, then the Dean, Vice Chancellor, and I have some other things to attend to, but it was lovely to have you here.
Yes.
Of course, don't let us keep you, Lady of Elkir.
Yeah, the three of them leave, and Professor Zale leads you down the long staircase into his book cupboard office.
Victoria's just in awe the whole way.
Which, Zale sort of like goes through and says, for those of you who haven't been here before, these are the lab rooms, and here's the blah blah of the academy.
Elizabeth's just like, oh.
Yeah.
I love it.
You head into the book cupboard that is Zale's office, still taken up by the majority of the desk. He sort of like does the thing where he scooches over the top of it, and like a load of books tip over. And he says, just close the door, and we should be all good.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a jam to get you all in, but you close the door. Elizabeth, as you close the door, you see a big rune on the back of the door. And it looks, from a cursory evaluation, like this place has been rudimentarily warded against scrying.
Yeah, Elizabeth instantly just like perks up. It's like, I see. Good thinking.
Zell sort of smiles and says, yes, some of my colleagues in the Department of Abjuration were kind enough to lend their assistance.
Now that sounds like a department I want to go and see at some point. Not now, obviously. When we have free time.
Well, perhaps I can introduce you at some point. So, I understood from what Vondar said and what little discussion I managed to get with Lady Elenia in between meetings. You guys want to return to the Shadowfell?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, turns out Shadowfell keeps on being the source of our problems in this world. So
Fucking
this point.
Shadowfell.
Well,
it would be appreciated if you had any guidance as to where to start.
So, where exactly are you headed is my first question.
Well, it's
Technically here, I guess?
yeah, here but on the Shadowfell.
I don't...
The mirror of Argen'tel'lyrind.
The deep red colour drains a little from Zale's face.
Oh, Zale.
And he sort of says, you want to go to the Evernight?
Unfortunately,
Supposedly
yes.
by those that supposedly those that want us there will ensure our safety from whatever else is out there.
It's by no stretch of the imagination ideal, but it's we have, like they said, we have some form of safety, and we have an escape that or an out that works from anywhere. So.
Well, it's good to know that you're prepared. I'm not sure what sort of forces you're dealing with that you're able to get that sort of protection, but equally, I'm not sure I want to know.
Yeah, you don't.
Like, if all things go as planned, I think it will be safe to share, but till then, well, yeah, you're right.
It's probably best if you don't know, at least for the moment.
That's fair enough. So, my first point will be that if you're planning on opening a portal here in the city, no.
Oh, yeah, no way will we go to open the portal here.
That's
we have a way that
good.
Can get us into I can get us into the city, but in order to do that, I need to have at least been in the Shadowfell long enough to attune this to it, and I'll hold up. That I'm attuned for.
I see.
Yeah. They've provided us the means to get there, but I need this attuned to the Shadowfell.
So... Oh, I wonder.
So in short, we're not really planning on opening any portals. We're just hoping that you could guide us to a place where we could get through.
Well...
And even if we were going to open a portal, we weren't going to open it in Argen'tel'lyrind.
Seems like a bad idea.
That's reassuring to... Yes, it's a genuinely awful idea, and... Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you were to even begin to suggest it to anyone, they
sure
would
be arrested on the spot.
Yes, and titles or not, there would be very serious repercussions.
We have many bad ideas, but we would not endanger
We
this.
have many bad ideas.
Yeah,
True, though.
Look, I'm just being real here.
I mean, you didn't lie.
Our ideas are glorious.
Nope, some of them are really
Mm.
bad.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, he sort of he leans back in his chair for a moment, and sort of says, "Well, finding an open portal is, well, what with how things have been changing in the Shadowfell recently, is a little more difficult than normal. The truth of the matter is, the Shadowfell used to be a lot easier to get to. Whether or not that's a good thing is debatable, but recently, someone or something is more intent on keeping the borders closed.
Probably our good friends.
irritating.
Well, that does have me somewhat concerned.
I'm hesitant to suggest this, but I'm currently looking to get permission to run an experiment.
What
It-
sort of experiment?
How is best to explain this? So in the simplest way I can put it, there is a resonance field to every plane. It's not fully understood, but it's believed to be a byproduct of sort of the structure of, well, the weave of magic and how it intersects with the borders between planes. But much with that, your tuning fork, the way to attune to a plane is to tap into its specific frequency, and that specific frequency can tend to vary. That's a little bit more complicated than we need to go. I plan on running I guess the best term for it is simulated. A simulation of what it would be like to localize a piece of the Shadowfell.
So wait, what? Like creating a pocket dimension or something?
Similar. Essentially, what I'd do is I'd be recreating conditions of the Shadowfell here on the material plane.
So basically, if we were to attune our fork to your simulation, we would actually attune to the Shadowfell.
It would be
Despite the
functionally
fact-
the same, yes.
Yeah, despite not actually having been there with the fork.
Correct.
Oh, I like that.
I hasten to point out this, at the moment, is just a theory. The experiment may not turn out in quite the way I expect, but I'm quietly confident. We ran some initial tests, and they showed promising results. The only concern is that they did display minor side effects.
Such as?
Well, you recall we met some denizens of the Shadowfell previously.
Yes.
Similar entities seemed to almost begin to form themselves as we did our experiments. Minor things like people reporting symptoms of discomfort, lights becoming suppressed, various sort of potentially malicious side effects that caused us to cancel the test. We performed the test in a contained environment, which is part of the reason that I'm allowed to do this thing in the first place. But I'm concerned that in order to fully create this simulated environment, we're going to need a lot more energy, and we're going to need to dial things up quite a bit.
And that might dial up side effects.
Precisely.
And then, of course, theoretically, who knows exactly what that would entail.
We can make some predictions, but unfortunately all of the predictions that I can come up with are not pleasant.
I wouldn't imagine they would be.
So, here's my thinking. I may be able to convince them to let me run this test if I can guarantee them that any side effects are going to be contained. We have a secure facility, but I'm sure it would be a lot more convincing to the members of the board that I need to persuade that if we had a number of known Shadowfell conquering heroes on standby that might be more willing to let me try. And if I can try and succeed, then you may be able to attune your device.
I am totally on board for all of this. But then again, I'm not a Shadowfell conquering hero.
How long till this would be, well, you'll be able to pull this off?
Well, the lab is still set up from the previous test.
Okay. Well, it's more like it's a day. Like it's gonna. I assume it's gonna take like a day in order to get like permissions and stuff.
A couple of days, perhaps, but then we'll be ready.
Okay. That would put us. Well, as long as it doesn't take more than a week, we should be fine.
The biggest thing is going to be convincing people, and then it'll be a case of setting up equipment and things, but I have people on standby, and actually perhaps some of you may even be able to assist me.
I'd happily help in any way I can.
I'd actually, I think, let's catch up about that. I'm not sure how wide your understanding of these sort of things is, but we may be able to sort of talk shop a little more.
That would probably be wise.
Yes, I don't mean to exclude anyone else, but I seem to recall the last time I went off on a tangent discussing the nature of the construction of the Shadowfell, everyone just sort of went a little bit glass-eyed at me.
That is fair. We're definitely, I think I can speak for all of us in saying that we're willing to be on standby for whatever might happen. I kind of like look at everybody else to be like, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lithari sort of offers a broad shrug that can only be described as, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Lithari.
Checks out.
I mean, even for the people that haven't been to the Shadowfell yet, if things do happen to come through, they'll, I guess, get a taste of what that's like. Just kind of grimace a little bit, like, ugh.
Yes,
Unpleasant as what it is.
I have to admit, when we ran the first experiment, I was given some rather unpleasant recollections.
We'll be fine.
Yes, I have every confidence in us. Just be ready for anything. I have run several theories about what is possible and not possible in a simulated Shadowfell environment, but, well, so far I have been proven to have been wrong.
So, in other words, expect the unexpected.
That's kind of a misnomer, but yes. Well, I suppose that settles it.
Seems to.
Yeah.
Sort of adjusts his glasses. So says, well, sorry, Elizabeth, wasn't it?
Yes.
If you'll give me just a moment, there are some colleagues that I'd like to bring in for a little discussion on this, if we're going to go ahead with it. The rest of you, please feel free to do whatever's needed around the academy. You're more than welcome here. If there's anything I can sort of help with, then I'm happy to. But Elizabeth and my colleagues and I will discuss the finer details of the experiment. But yes.
Oh, actually, like I didn't really consider it until now. Would have any way of protecting the mind from, well, mind influencing spells, like, mind control and that kind of gist.
Oh, yes, of course.
Like, I feel like this would be our best chance at finding anything that we haven't found yet.
That's not exactly my area of expertise, but I'm sure if you were to ask around, you could try and find someone. Lady Eleni could probably point you in the right direction of the individual people, but there is an entire department of both enchanters and abjuration specialists that may be able to come up with something.
Yes. But I can also pretty much guarantee that if I'm not anywhere where you know I am, I will probably be in the library if they'll let me.
Which library?
One of the... There's more than one?
There are several.
Ooh.
I think perhaps I may have to give you the full tour.
Yes, that would probably be a good idea. I'd also like that very much.
Well, I guess tour first, and then we'll have a briefing, and I suppose the rest of you, if you're interested in finding out more about these protections, then either Lady Elenia or the front desk may be able to point you in the right direction.
Package.
We'll take some time to look into it. Thank you.
Yes, I think that will be it. And well, best of luck with getting approval.
I may actually request some assistance from some of you on that. Some of the board members are Well, they have... I suppose the polite term for them is nuances? They
Oh.
can take some convincing. And persuasion
Yes.
is not my strong suit.
Ah.
Well, like, perhaps we like I don't want to leverage it directly, but it could help if you told them that we also happen to donate certain dragon parts to their facilities.
Zale sort of like hunkers forward on the desk and says, "Is that what was in Lady Elenia's boxes?"
Oh, I guess this wasn't as public knowledge as I expected, or well, as I assumed you would be briefed on slightly higher level than I expected.
He
But,
sort of like like leans back up and says, "Oh, don't worry about that. My lips are sealed. I'm just a real life dragon."
Yeah, that's the whole story.
So
I'd heard rumors.
Maybe I can tell you the story at some point.
well, I see. Perhaps even though it should never, of course, be used to abuse or like ignore safety regulations and stuff, it might see make them see a little more favorable situation. But I think that we will have to bring that up once appropriate.
Yes, quite. I'd still appreciate the help of one of you if that's possible, but
Of course.
it's all good points.
If you want to persuade anyone, not Grim.
I am excellent. However, I would agree that it should probably be someone who has actually received a medal or like a citizen reward, or I'm not quite sure what it's called.
Yeah, some of you have honorary citizenship.
Yes,
And-
honorary citizens. That might like hold a little more sway than all my gnomish words.
I'd be very much willing to go, but it may also look better if perhaps Arya is with us in that case.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to go. The magic stuff escapes me.
I mean, maybe don't try to persuade them, Arya, but
Yeah.
Like just persuade them it's
I mean,
important, and then that's it.
Your method of persuasion isn't going to be dazzling them with the technicalities and the intricacies of how the magic works. Your method of persuasion is going to be, I'm there, so nothing's gonna get out of hand.
well,
Yeah,
Gonna control these fucking shit.
you're
Yes.
convincing them that you'll keep the experiment under control.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think Arya and Kelariis are probably our best like outward show of that being the case.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
You both got medals
Also,
for being
I'm-
heroes.
in theory, good at persuading people, but we'll see how rolls go.
We'll see how that
Yeah.
goes.
So,
I'm in theory good at this.
Look, I've had the unfortunate experience of rolling terribly on things I should be good at. So
Also, yeah, we know Vondal's religion rolls normally.
Lithari, although he got a 19 earlier when you asked him about vampires, so
I know.
damn Vondal.
Wow.
Fucking legend.
it's because I'm rolling for
Goddamn.
him. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
It's just me.
Yeah. So Lithari sort of chips up from the back and says, "Well, that sounds like 3 teams to me."
I suppose it does.
Yeah.
Grim and I will go looking for spells. Elizabeth and Zale work on the experiment, and the rest of you convince some people.
Well, it's been a while since I've dove into some more arcane texts, but I think we can pull it off.
And with that, I think that's a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Good.
Right. Well, this has been an interesting session.
Indeed.
I think
It has.
we finally have a plan, and it is in motion.
We do. Oh my
The,
god.
the thing is, I was thinking about this. Our plan is not a greatly
No.
thought out plan. It's just that, hey, we're gonna go after these people
To be
first.
fair,
Yeah.
it's literally the best we can do with basically no information.
Yeah.
You kind of need information to formulate a plan, and we don't have any of that.
I
So
just
this is the best
think
we
maybe
got.
we're being a bit
Generous.
generous calling it a plan. It's,
Yeah.
We are kind
we're
of
in
forcing
action.
it. I feel we're also very much forcing it.
It's fine.
I feel like we're acting for the sake of acting.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
We're acting because we feel like we have to, not because we want to.
Well,
But I mean, like, we do also want to. It's confusing.
like, well, like I think the problem is there's no clear answers. Like most
Yeah.
of our case, like most of the time, it's fairly clear. We do X,
Yeah.
and this is the result, or this is most likely the result.
Yeah.
Currently, we have absolutely no idea how it will play out.
Yeah.
We don't even know if our options are actually valid.
Find out.
Just watch as we get to the headquarters and like the fucking Supreme Witch is bleeding out on the floor and there's just Dread Legion everywhere.
Well, then at that point we just turn around and fucking smack
Yeah.
the Dread Legion in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fine.
at that point,
Like-
all of the decision is made for you, and it's easy.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, actually, that would
Yeah.
be simpler than
Oh,
what
yeah,
we're
that'd be
dealing
really
with now.
good, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
So good.
there is one thing that would be even worse than all of this.
What?
Us
Which-
kind of betraying them, and them just turning out to be duplicates, because if they have that spell.
What, clone?
No,
No,
what is
the
Remember how-
the
the
Simulacrum.
ice- Yeah,
Simulacrum.
Simulacrum.
Because why wouldn't they have simulacrums walking around? You know?
Well,
Well, because they can only have one at
Why
once
not?
because of the simulacrum spell. But
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well,
And it's
you
not
know.
exactly a cheap spell.
No.
That hasn't stopped them in the past.
it does not.
And
I mean, they literally used it to taunt you.
well, yeah, true.
yeah.
Honestly, I am gonna go ahead and say that if we ever fight them, odds are pretty good that they might have at least one of their simulacrums nearby.
Possibly, but they may also just rely straight on the fact that they can't be killed unless their coffin / gravesite
Yeah.
is destroyed, which is for them cheaper and probably more efficient.
Oh yeah,
If they're
definitely.
confident in that. So
See, I don't think cost is really much of an object.
no, but
or,
I also
like-
don't think that they will just. They don't really seem like the type to just spend it just because they can.
I guess that's true.
Well,
Okay.
But like, it would allow them to act in several places at once.
you'll just have to find out next time.
Indeed.
I guess that's true.
Yes.
All that remains is thank you all for watching, thank you all for playing, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.